The new Melania documentary has already been a financial success if your last name is Trump. Jeff Bezos and Amazon paid $40 million to license it. And when Trump was asked about the money, he said this.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know really. I'm not involved in that. That was done with my wife. I think it's going to be, I think it's a very important movie.
Mr. President, what do you say to those that are critical of the fact that Amazon paid $40 million to acquire the rights of this movie?
Well, I think they'd have to go and ask President Obama, because they paid a lot of money and hasn't done anything.
Melania Trump has already pocketed $27 million from this movie. It is an unprecedented move by a sitting first lady to profit off of access to her private life. And that has critics saying, follow the money. I cannot imagine what would have happened if Michelle Obama, while she was first lady, went and got a big fat check from anybody, anyone, let alone $40 million from Amazon, who, by the way, has a whole lot of business before this administration.
Look, it's unprecedented. I'm not going to argue that with you, but it's also not unprecedented that elected officials make a lot of money while they're in office. I mean, we could sit here and talk about Nancy Pelosi all day and her 16,000% from increase of when she was in the stock market from when she went into office until the point that she retired and was like
okay, so that's insider trading. Give me another example.
I'm just saying that's like that's the top of it all. It happens all the time. Joe Biden's wealth increased while he was in office.
Where? How?
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's wealth increased from $8 million to $11 million because of investments. Donald Trump's wealth has increased by $4 billion in 1 year.
He's far from being the first politician to go into office and
I'm talking about the first lady saying to a private company, we are going to give you inside access to my private life while I am the first lady, and then I'm going to put that movie out and use my office to promote that movie. And that company that is paying her has business before the government, contracts that are worth billions and billions of dollars, AI policy that's on the agenda. I mean, there's a lot that's at stake here for Amazon, and this is probably money well spent for them.
It didn't last very long in the White House, as everybody knows, but my first meeting, which I will never forget, is I was in the study off of the Oval Office, and the president looked over at me and said, you know, you went to law school. I said, I did. He said, I want to break up Amazon. Have they violated the antitrust laws? I hate Jeff Bezos. I hate the Washington Post. I hate everything that they're doing to me. And I said, well, no, they don't meet the test of the Sherman Antitrust Act in terms of breaking them up. So you're not going to be able to break them up. But I want you to fast forward 8 years. He returned to the presidency with a vengeance. Those people knew about it. They got in line behind his children and his family members at the inauguration. And every one of those people have kowtowed to him. $1 million each of the inaugural, $40 million for the licensing of the movie.
Jeff Bezos personally killed an editorial that it would have endorsed Trump's
They're handing him gold. Tim Cook's handing him gold in the White House. So their boards have all said the same thing to them. He can hurt you. He's only going to be there for another 1,000 days. Stay away from him. Be intimidated by him. Go to Davos. Curry favor with him. And the $75 million to Jeff Bezos and Amazon and its board is a defensive measure. And so I'm saying something different than the rest of the people at the table. I want everybody to think about this. If you were on the board of Amazon and you were the CEO, can you imagine now what we've done to the country where we have to be worried about the head of state inflicting pain on you because of his personal admonishments?
Well, what I would say is, what's the old adage? What good is having, what kind of money if you never actually use it? And considering our dependency on Amazon as a nation, if I am Jeff Bezos, my response would not have been to basically give Donald Trump or Melania, whoever, both of them,
but this is not Jeff Bezos's. But this is not Jeff Bezos, the man. This is him,
Amazon,
on behalf, essentially, on behalf of the corporation. And I think you're right.
He's trying to protect his company.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a responsibility in some ways that he has to do whatever it takes. The real scandal is that it's working.
Right.
That you can actually potentially buy your way into good favor in an administration right
The
now.
monetization of this presidency, of the office, is unprecedented. You know, I could almost get over the Trump shoes. I could almost get over the Trump watches. I could almost get over the Trump phone, the Trump NFTs. But when Trump coin came out the day before, 2 days before he took office, that was a huge red line. Like all the grifting before that, whatever. The Trump coin is insane. Now that Melania has a movie that is quite literally bombing, but she made a lot of profit off of it, and Jeff Bezos is getting favorable contracts. This is not the United States of America that I grew up in, not the United States of America that I want to continue in. I want to reform this so it's the corruption from the highest level isn't this brazen. And you mentioned Joe Biden. Biden's net worth went from $8 to $11 million because of real estate assets. Trump has gained like $3 billion or $4 billion in 1 year. Way different. Way different.
And can I just say this real quick? It's like I can't wait to not watch this. And the other thing too, and beyond all that, it's like I feel sorry for the creators in Hollywood, because I live in LA, who pitch to Amazon all the time, get told no, have original stories, great content, only to see something.
Yeah, as someone said, an expert said, this might be the most expensive documentary ever made that did not involve music licensing. So there's that.